And we're off.
Da da
Do do
da.
do. I'm here with Ember. We're waiting to see if a cat shows up. We were scheduled. I sent out a message.
Our
I
cat
did
is
want
hiding under
to.
the bed.
That's also possible. I did want to come on and show off my Nature Pride sticker, which I have
Oh
here.
hell yeah!
Yeah, this is very cool. So thank you for that. Of course, these are available on Ember's website. And I'll put the link for your channel down here at some point. What's up, Smokey Bears? Good to see you.
Only you can prevent forest fires because we fired all the rangers.
And yeah, so interesting story because when I had streamed with Kat quite a while back, we figured out where I am on that LGBTQIA spectrum, and kind of went through a deep dive, psychologizing myself on that one. So,
Oh,
and
nothing like psychology on a live stream.
yeah, I'm not sure if that was here or it might have been on the old channel that got nuked. So I don't know if it's up anymore, but
Those pesky
interested to
nukes.
see if I could find a video. Yeah.
I mean, possibly. I think. Well, it depends on how a channel gets deleted. Because, like, if they just like block the channel's ability to post, then all the videos are still there. They're just not public. You could get to them through Studio. But if they just straight up delete the whole channel, then not so much.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I've tried through Studio. I know through regular YouTube it won't let me like engage the app at all. It's got like through that email account, it's got me completely blocked from any YouTube services.
No soup for you.
Yep.
Oh goodness. I was cackling earlier because friends keep dragging me towards TikTok. They want to do lives on TikTok because people can request up and yada yada yada. And they're like, come do a live with me, come do a live with me. So I keep getting sucked in. And don't get me wrong, they're usually pretty fun. Like last night, I got to make a Phil Bro pee his pants and run away, which is my favorite fucking thing to do with Phil Bros. But when I joined Dr. Ben, we get to have some good conversations about trans science and all kinds of stuff like that. And so, oh goodness. The reason I was chuckling is because I logged on to my TikTok to see about running my own lives. And there's a whole bunch of hoops you have to jump through. But my most recent regular uploaded video got blocked for a community violation. They won't say which community violation, just that there's a community violation. And it's the
Of course.
video that's also a short on my own channel about trans broken arm. And because it says the word trans in the title, I think that might be the community violation.
Oh no. How silly.
So
Hey
I'm
Robin, good
just
to
I'm
see you.
laughing. It's
That
like
that
when
is
when the
funny.
cop arrests you, they're like, you've broken the law, and you go, cool, which law? And they're like, the law. You've broken the law. Right, but which law?
Yeah, and then they'll say something like, "Well, it's not my job to educate you on the penal code."
Yeah, my goodness. Hey, Robin's here.
Um,
Hello, Robin.
yeah. Let's see. Is that in your members stuff, or is that public on your channel? The video you were just talking about.
Oh, the trans broken arm. It's a short on my channel. It was on my TikTok, but it got blocked for community violations. But you can see the video. It's the same video. I just uploaded the same thing to both. If you want to
Oh
try to
wait.
go
So,
through and figure out what other community violations I might have committed. I'm surprised I haven't been reported on YouTube more. There's a trans person speaking. Ah, we can't allow it in the
can't
United
have
States.
that. Yeah. They're silly.
It's nutty. We get trans
Nutty
broken
as
arm
hell.
because if it
What?
hey, there it is.
Yeah. See if we could find the community violations here.
A trans person walks into an ER with a broken arm, and the doctor's first question is, could this be your hormones? Trans broken arm. The hormones clearly have nothing to do with it. And yet, in so many cases, the very first thing a trans person gets in any kind of situation where there's medical problems is, well, before we do anything else, I want to take you off your hormones.
What? Is that real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big fucking problem.
Jeez. Like, why? Yeah, why would that even be a factor?
It's a gatekeeping thing. It's a way of saying without saying, I don't agree with the fact that you're on HRT, and so I won't help you unless you obey my moral guidelines. And we don't like to think of medical practitioners in the context of being guardians of moral purity, but that was a big part of the profession for most of history. Like, it's only relatively recently that there have been ethical guidelines saying you can't push your beliefs onto your patients. Like, that's not cool to do. And so there's still elements, just like with anthropology, how it used to be very much about white supremacy, proving that white people actually are better. Even though they don't do that anymore, there's echoes of that sentiment still resounding and bouncing off the walls within the discipline. So you'll still run across bits and pieces in medicine of people moral grandstanding and saying, I don't agree with that way of life, and I will not help you unless you adhere to my values, you know? Robin
so
puts it much more simply. They just want to take the hormones away. Like, it's just justification to be like, well, if I take the hormones away, you can't be trans anymore, you know? As if that they don't understand. You already are trans. The hormones are there to help you live your life in feel better about it, to like be happier or at least less miserable, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, it could be like compared in a way to like antidepressants or something like that for people who truly have severe depression, right? Where you need that to function in a more normal capacity, right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Like I was describing on yesterday's stream about how my neurological function has literally changed as I altered my endocrine system. And my brain, people tell me that I was smart before and I believe them, but like it's I was running on like 50% power, you know? Like my brain works so much better now because it has like the chemicals that it was designed to run on. Much
So I
like
have a family
antidepressant meds.
member who is really into vitamins and supplements for overall health, but brain health specifically. Do you know anything about that?
I know a bit about vitamins in the most gross sense, but I haven't really studied the topic. Like I can't tell you what chemical vitamin A is and how it interacts with your system.
Fair enough. All right, let's continue with the short here.
I want to see if your body goes back to normal with only your endogenous processes. Never mind that many of us do not make endogenous hormones anymore. And that goes for intersex people as well as trans people, because a lot of us are sterilized during puberty for medical reasons that may or may not actually apply, but that's neither here nor there. A lot of intersex people need HRT for the same reason trans people do. Because their bodies don't make the hormones anymore. We get trans broke.
And that's something that's going to be corrected with the HRT, right? So it
Mhm.
happens, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cis people on HRT for a similar reason, like women post-menopause, for example. The last normal job I had, every woman in the office was on the same HRT I was for the same reason. because their bodies didn't make a sufficient level of estrogen to maintain their biological functions. They were at risk of osteoporosis, and their metabolisms were fucked, and they were getting brain fog because, again, it does affect neurological function, and so they were on HRT because even though they still had their ovaries, they weren't making enough estrogen anymore.
Right. Ah, terrible the way they have to spin things to fit their narrative. Like,
Fucking
I was,
narratives.
I was hearing, I heard something else like similarly about like the number of top surgeries that are done for like cosmetic reasons, and like how significantly more uh like cis women are getting either breast augmentations or whatever for other reasons, right? And then like the number of trans women that actually get it done is so significantly lower, right? Or trans men, actually, I think it was comparing to, I can't remember now which one.
Yeah, we've got two categories. Of course, there's cis women who get both enhancements and reductions for appearance
Right.
reasons, for comfort reasons, for health reasons. Like if your boobs are too big, it can hurt your back. So there are people getting reductions. That does happen. But trans people only make up 1 to 2% of the population, which means that at best we only make up 1 to 2% of cosmetic top surgeries. And I have to say at best, because we have an additional number of extra financial hurdles before we can even get to that point.
Yeah, because I think there's also more of a correlation with poverty there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
like part of it is there's so many social factors that go into it, but any member of the LGBTQ community is more likely to be financially disadvantaged because of systemic discrimination, because of intentional individual level discrimination, because of the things that can happen to a person as a result of hate directed against people, and so on and so on and so on. Um, there's a lot. But also, in addition to being a higher risk of being unemployed, being homeless, and all these other things, because of the community that you're part of, there's also the additional financial obligations. Like you have to pay for however many psychiatric appointments before your doctor will sign off on the surgery you need. All of this kind of stuff.
right.
So there's a lot of extra barriers.
And for anybody who doesn't have it, I think I'm sharing a link inside chat now, which redirects to your online store there, or at least the link to the link in the YouTube post.
Ah, yes, the post about so there's a whole thing with the store. While I was in Nashville, a bunch of people like the production firm has like a return policy where if you have a defective product, you can contact them and tell them what the defect is. And if it's a production side problem, like say you got a sticker that's cut so that the cut goes right across the sticker, then that would be a them problem and they would replace the sticker. If there's a design flaw issue though, then it's the creator who has to either replace it or pay a refund and you keep the sticker. And that's what they went with. Is this group of people en masse got a bunch of items, mostly flags, but they said there's design flaws. And so the production partners got together with the printing people and they were like, well, it's not in the production process, it's part of the design. And so they gave the people the option: do you want a reprint or a refund? And either way, it got charged to me at the full cost of the product. So I made like $2-3 on a sale, and then they asked for a refund on this it's a design flaw business, and I got charged the $30 cost of the flag. So it was a big negative. And $30 is kind of a big deal where I am right now in my life.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh
spend
yeah.
$50 a week on groceries, for example. So two of those is a week's groceries. Holy shit. And to have dozens of them happen all at the same time. And they did it while I was in Nashville and couldn't actually address the situation. And the best part is that the partner, it's Fourth Wall because they can automatically integrate with YouTube. Their payout date is on the 1st. So I was still in Nashville on the 1st when the payout happened, and the negative account balance just emptied my bank account. So now my bank account is overdrawn and I'm accumulating fees because it's overdrawn. Fuck.
Oh
It's very,
shit.
very bad. I did
Yeah,
manage to
that's
get the store fixed mostly so that they shouldn't do that anymore. That involved a lot of direct personal communication with the creative team at Fourth Wall. And I'm like, you can't just let people say there's a design flaw. They have to, like, there's people abusing the system. So I need you to make them show you what the flaw is. Like they have to send in a picture and demonstrate there is a flaw, So
right, right.
theoretically, that shouldn't be a problem anymore. But I'm still kind of fucked for this month. But the story is mostly back online.
Well, that's kind of good news that it's online, but geez, sounds like you need to make up some sales in there.
It's an oof. It's a big fucking oof because in theory, I should be getting the fraudulent refund charges refunded. So like it's a refund, I guess. But
Right.
I'm only going to get back what they were able to reverse the charges on. So like the fact my bank account is empty for this entire month, the fact I'm paying overdraft fees and bounce fees on whatever tries to go through this month, none of that's going to get refunded. So I'm just fucked. But the store is back online mostly.
Well, that's yeah, I mean, bittersweet, I guess, but um yeah, I mean, it sounds like you may still recoup some of the funds, right? It's just for now you're stuck,
Yeah,
I
it's
suppose.
such is life, when you're, I can't even say a publicly visible trans person, right? Like part of the reason that I'm visible as both a trans person and an intersex person is the same reason I'm visible as an atheist. So that people like me can see someone like them being visible and know it's okay. But at the same time, being a lightning rod for attacks like that, it isn't sending the message that it's okay to be publicly visible.
Right.
So it's an oof. It's a big fucking oof.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way, like getting into the community, like I wanted to like mingle with like-minded people and all of that stuff, and it didn't really. Well, I mean, I had already been like sort of a public figure as an atheist, as a musician before that, but um, like networking in the online spaces, I started to see people getting attacked, like at their jobs and stuff like that, which had never been a consideration of mine before until, um, over the past couple of years, maybe.
it it's the damn narratives. Like people get so invested in these emotional fictional stories, these fucking fairy tales that they emotionally need to believe are true, that they're attacking people over them. Like to me, nothing says the thing you believe in is fictional more than having to hurt people who disagree. Like if you ages ago, centuries and centuries ago, Plato wrote that if you have to attack the person, you've admitted that your argument has no merit. That he was talking about ad hominem fallacies, but we're seeing the literal version right now. If you have to physically attack the people you don't like, you are admitting that the reasons you're saying why they're bad people don't actually hold water. You're demonstrating you're the bad people.
Yeah, and another thing that a lot of the Christians will do, I think, is like in their mind they justify that they're like helping you by trying to humble you in a way if they hurt your livelihood, you know.
Uh-huh. That's abuser tactics. I'm only hitting you because I love you, you know?
Right. And Robin said in the side chat, if you do have a donation link, please post. I don't know if you have that available.
I do not. I there's a whole lot of related long stories, and you're familiar with some of them because one of the reasons that I became more involved in your channel is I noticed your coverage of a certain drama that was happening in the community. And
Yeah.
as you may be aware, that particular harmful element of the community that was running around attacking people made a big point of their attack, a focus point, if you will, the fact that I had a fundraiser to help with medical bills from various incidents last year. And they made a big fucking deal out of it, and everybody dropped out. And then it started to be like weaponized against me. And I'm like, okay, if it's not helping and it's being used to hurt me, then I can't have this anymore. And so I don't have a fundraiser anymore.
Yeah, I mean, regrettably, I've had the fundraiser up since that started going on, you know, but obviously I wasn't able to make it to NanoCon. But yeah, I was like, yeah, like I don't really give a shit about the optics. It's not like, I mean, I've always had kind of donation links, and but I don't get regular donations from YouTube or anything like that. It's just like one off here or there. I had a couple people that were subscribed to my Patreon for a while, and now I'm working on just making that all free content, and then people can choose to donate that way, right? But
Hmm.
I don't ever take it too seriously. I always be like, dude, look at my bank account. I'm not making money over here, you know. So, but yeah, I was like, well, people are probably gonna judge me for trying to um trying to raise funds, you know, using that content or whatever. But I mean, I'm still trying to raise the funds regardless of whatever content I'm doing. So it's not like I was using that to try and get a boost. I just stumbled into it and it worked, which is the only way to really get anywhere around here, you know?
Yeah, and it's not like you're being dishonest about what the things are for, right? Like that particular group of very harmful people that I was making reference to, they like to accuse everyone else of grifting, right? But a grift
Mm,
means you're dishonestly representing the thing that you're raising money for. Like, for example, Kenneth Copeland isn't actually grifting. He straight up tells people he wants to buy a fourth personal jet, right? Like, he tells you what it's for. It is for selfish reasons, and that's how he's going to use it. So there's not actually a grift there, you know? Same thing. When I raise funds, it's for me. I'm not promising it's going to go to, Doctors Without Borders or something. I'm like, I'm trying to survive. This will help pay for food, you know?
exactly.
It's fucking
Uh,
hell. Um, Robin asks, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, etc. I don't use PayPal anymore because they got all bugaboo about we need an ID. So my ID matches my name, right? It everything's updated, but my current ID doesn't match the ID I originally signed up to PayPal for. And so I don't know who the fuck's in charge of it anymore, Peter Thiel or whatever. The fact that my ID doesn't match my original ID means that they won't accept either ID, and my PayPal is just permanently locked. And I can't open a new one because when it checks my new ID, it says, "Oh, you already have an account," which is locked because we don't like your ID. So fuck them. But as far as Venmo and Cash App, those are both Ember Bell, like EMBERBEL. Those are linked on my video descriptions in case, and on my website, betterthanember.com. Like all the different ways people can send me money if they really want to around there.
there you go. I think I can pull that up. Let's see. Website. And on the note of the toxic folks out there that we're referring to. One of them is still around. I don't know if you're following, but apparently the new campaign is to take down YouTube entirely because sometimes young, impressionable kids and teenagers are able to get into the adult accounts, and so they think
So they're using
that,
YouTube to say that YouTube shouldn't exist. What?
yeah, to protect the children.
Ah, yes, yes. The every rational narrative ever has been driven by protect the children. Yes.
But
I mean,
everything else
I
is crickets,
suppose
I think.
it's probably great that they're just outright saying ridiculous things, you know? Like, way to guarantee no one is ever going to take them seriously. Oh, for fuck's sake. Although we have been seeing a lot of nonsense with YouTube recently, like a lot of animators, for example, because they're animators, YouTube keeps deciding that, well, they're cartoons and cartoons are automatically for children, even though they haven't, whenever you upload a video, as you go through the process, there's a button you have to push to say whether it's above 18 or under 18 content. Like you
Right.
have to push the button to upload the video. It won't let you finish the upload unless you do it. So even though they're animators, they say, no, this is not child friendly content. This is for adults. And YouTube still flags them for it. And if you get pinged 3 times, they demonetize your entire channel. So if you're an animator and you have more than 3 cartoons posted, there's a pretty fair chance your entire channel has just been demonetized. So they're being dicks about it, but in a way that's like we have to protect the children sort of thing.
Wait, so, but does that also mean that some of these adult animations potentially are ending up on like YouTube Kids or something?
Not that I'm aware of. It's just the risk of it potentially happening, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, so they just preemptively,
Right.
um,
I don't have direct personal experience with this, but I've been noticing a lot of animators in the past week or two have posted videos going, WTF, my channel has been demonetized. What's going on? And they all tell a similar story, So it's an amalgamation of other people's firsthand experiences that gives me this information.
right. I do think like I thought it was kind of shady with the way they have the kids platform set up though too, because it's obvious that the parents have to be um, kind of um, I don't know, it kind of like the child actor thing where they set their kid up to be on screen, but obviously they're the ones collecting the revenue, and isn't that like in of itself kind of exploitative to me? I think
Oh
so,
yeah,
but
I know, and it's always the kids can't consent people that are, putting their own children out there for every creeper and gooner to lust after.
right.
Fucking, there. If it weren't for double standards, people would have no standards, I suppose. Yeah, B.S. Lewis is very not child friendly, but
That would be hilarious.
I know. Can you imagine the Christian crash out, the fundamentalist freak out if they got a load of even one B.S. Lewis video in their kids' feed?
Why are they pushing satanic cartoons on my children?
I think BS would be very amused by that, even if it got his channel demonetized.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know. It's 30 minutes, and I have not heard back from Kat. So I don't know what happened. I hope Kat's all right. BS isn't really dirty. There's no naked people.
Yeah. Do you know what time zone Cat is in? Maybe there was an error in time translation.
You think Midwest? So yeah, I don't know. Um, who, the what?
I mean,
Oh shoot.
it's I always second guess my own time conversion, so I just pull up the actual stream and it tells you we'll be live at 1 p.m. your time or whatever the case may be. And so I'm like, okay, I whatever my brain is thinking, this is the time the show actually starts.
Yeah. I got confused by that earlier with my interview because I scheduled the interview in Pacific time, but then when I went back and looked at the verification, it was Central time. So then I had to go back and like, oh wait, no, it's not. It's actually happening right now. But I had to think about it for a minute. I was like, why does it say? Oh yeah, CST.
I keep telling it. I want us to switch to planetary time because people have excuses. They're like, "Oh, can you imagine what it would be like if it were, 2 a.m. and the sun is at high noon?" I'm like, you'd get used to it. Like once upon a time, the word noon referred to 3 p.m. Like we can adjust our understanding of what these numbers mean in relation to time of day. It actually won't even take that long. Like anybody who deals with jet lag does it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I always find it's easier too for me, or at least it was, using like the 24-hour clock rather than the 12-hour. Because I just know, like, okay,
Oh, same.
23,
Because it
yeah,
minimizes confusion. Like
yeah,
ever since I was in the military, I set all my devices to go by military time, and then I have to translate for the muggles and be like, oh, my kids especially, they're like, what time is it really? And I'm like 1500, and they're like, but what time is it really? I'm like, just learn the real clock, and you won't have this problem because
right,
you don't have to fuck around with like if I say meet me at 7. One friend shows up at 7 a.m. and another shows up at 7 p.m. Like, no, 0700 or 1900. Easy. Nobody gets confused. Fuck.
yeah. When who would invite somebody out at 7 a.m. unless you're going for like I don't know a morning run or something? I guess.
Literally just continental breakfasts. Like,
Yeah,
if
or
I
that.
can get some cheesy eggs and a waffle, for that, I might do a 7 a.m. Otherwise, you're not seeing me before 10.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nerdy said, I like beavers, so my channel definitely isn't child friendly, but also says so in the about section. Are beavers
You
rodents?
expect people to
I guess they
read.
might. Who?
Nerdy. If it says so in the about section, you're expecting people to read, and Christians
Oh, yeah.
believe that you should only, not all Christians, obviously, I'm only talking about the Christians I'm talking about, but they believe you should only ever read the one book, and they haven't even read that one book, so they don't read things. You see? Yes, rodent
They only
supremacy.
read the parts they
I
like.
I think we should have voted for Vermin Supreme. We really should have. Like, the country would be vastly different right now. Here in the US. For anybody who doesn't know, here in the US, we had a presidential candidate a while back named Vermin Supreme, and he wore a boot on his head. He's kind of like, what is it, Lord Bucketface in the UK?
They
I
they
probably
have
have
that?
that wrong because I don't pay that much attention to the UK, but
Let's see if we could find some for what did they call that? Posterity, yeah. Or
yes.
super posterity.
Oh, he has his own YouTube. How delightful.
Yes. Here's for 2024.
Oh, I didn't know he ran in 24.
Fort Vermin Supreme will take away your guns and give you better ones.
Of course, it wouldn't be a New Hampshire primary without my favorite perennial candidate, and again, he is real, Vermin Supreme.
They have all sorts of people listed here who got some votes. Vermin Supreme.
My name is Vermin Supreme.
Oh man, he's been on C-SPAN and all of that.
Fucking amazing. I mean, this is how you troll politics. You don't do it by like, we're going to run Trump and make the libs crash out. You do this shit, and it's amazing and delightful, and everyone loves it.
Count Bentface. I have not. Hold on. I have to see this person. I don't think I'm familiar. Is it Count Bentface?
I thought it was Lord Binface, but
Oh.
again, I may have it wrong. Yeah, what happened is, in order to avoid some kind of censure, Nigel Farage dropped out. He resigned his seat, and now he's running to replace himself in a kind of runoff election. But Count Binface is leading him in the polls, and he's like, "This fucking." He wears a
He
trash
has an
can.
actual garbage can on his head. That's
He is a trash candidate, and yet he's the better candidate. It's from the country that brought you Bodie
monetized.
McBoatface.
Bulimic Boatface.
My name's Count Binface, intergalactic space warrior, leader of the Recyclons from planet Sigma 9, and part-time democratic politician on Earth. I love it. I love democracy. I love celebrating and defending it. And I am currently a candidate to be the next member of the British Parliament for the constituency of Clacton, the finest place in the entire cosmos. I'm the only...
Clacton. I mean, I will say this has got to be probably one of the most interesting times in history to be alive in the politics that are going on. I don't know if that's a good thing. It's like may you live in interesting times or whatever.
It really is, because like this kind of thing you couldn't have done it 100 years ago, because you couldn't use a pseudonym. They had to make sure you have to run under your real name, and you need to prove it. And in a day before identity documents, how do you even prove that? But also, it was an actual crime to impersonate nobility, even if it was for satirical purposes, you know?
Jeez, yeah. They've come a long way. They've raised almost $3,000 on this fund for journalism. Okay.
I'm the only fresh thing on the menu. You're all sick of these politicians, as good as they're trying to be, but you need something different. A little bit of secret sauce. The Colonel's secret blend of herbs and spices. Voila. Nationalizing Adele. Building at least one.
Thinking that's like a Jango Fett or something that he's got on underneath. Looks kind of like a Jango Fett.
Definitely an experienced cosplayer to make that suit come together like that. Yes.
One affordable house. Spending more time in Clacton-on-Sea than Washington, D.C.
I'd vote for him.
I mean, it's not just that he's a fun candidate.
you may
The underlying joke that a literal trash can would be a better candidate than Nigel Farage. Someone's like, let's put that assumption to the test.
Right. Welcome, Baranowski. Did I say that right? From UK. We're not open today. We were waiting for a third, but I don't think they're making an appearance. So. Robin said, "I don't try to understand British politics. It's better that way."
That seems wise. It's complicated on purpose. Like so Europe is a fascinating place. They're far more sophisticated than us in a whole lot of ways, but one of them is that there's a certain upper crust elitist group who treats politics as like here it's a circus, but there it's like a chess match. Like they play politics to get one up on the other players, and they don't actually care about the people, you know?
Yeah, no worries, Baranowski. If you come back, we will do a panel probably later in the week, though. If you wanna come and chill on.
I miss doing open panels. I can't do them on my own channel because I immediately get invaded by neo-Nazis and gender criticals and people from Team Toxic and that sort of thing. And so like, it's just a no-go on my own channel, but
Yeah, I
like
mean,
members
knock on wood, I
for that
haven't
reason.
had any like really crazy trolls lately. I've had some like pretty good luck actually, but yeah, I had to watch out like with the open panels because, you know, that's how my last channel got nuked. And then just letting strange folks in and not being prepared for them. And but then I had like some really good ones on here, but I had like some, you know, 6 and 8 hour streams, um, which was just like luck of the draw because of where I was working at the time. I was able to do it at work, but it was kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't have the bandwidth for it normally.
That's one of the things that I like about panels actually is because, my energy level, it's I can only stream for as long as my pain meds last, which isn't all that long anymore. But with a panel, it's possible for me to not have to be front and center all the time. Other people can talk and I can go take more medicine or something. So I can go a
Right.
lot longer. But pluses and minuses. I do miss doing long fucking streams though. I may try one again for my birthday this year. If so many ifs, but I may try one. But I'm gonna need co-hosts for it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, let me know. I'd be happy to come and wish you a happy birthday.
If I do attempt it, I might do a thing where I post the link like not in the chat, but in a place where I don't even know if there's a single place I could put it where people who are trustworthy could join if they want to. So I think it'd have to be more like people bug me by the means of communication they have to get in touch with me, and then I send them the link if they want to join, kind of thing. I don't know. I'll have to
If
work
you
out.
have emails, you could do one of those Google Hangout chats. I've been doing one of those a little bit. Well, I'm in a couple of them, but I have one of my own. But like it only has 9 people in it right now, you know.
Mm,
But you could just do like create one just for the stream and then delete it, you know.
maybe. I don't know. I'll ponder. I have another 12 days, so we'll see.
Fair enough, Nerdy Road. It says the internet is full of trolls. All I can say is don't let the bastards drag you down and live rent free in their brains. Good rule.
Oh yeah, that I certainly do. Like, we haven't seen hide nor hair of some of the more toxic individuals in a minute, but the fact that even the remainder can't seem to get through a 5-minute stream without mentioning me is kind of like, okay. I'm probably exaggerating, but not by much.
That's why I love the team of like Will and Sammy and those guys out there counter trolling all the time. If any time you go into like a toxic Christian stream, probably like more often than not, you'll eventually find those guys around there, and they're fucking with them, you know. It's beautiful.
I've seen a couple people do that. Like, the styles probably differ greatly, but Big Bad Mama has a couple of
Yeah.
accounts running around doing that sort of thing. Like, always being a thorn in Hoven's side, which is just, I wouldn't have the patience for it. But as the believers at the Genesis Bible Chapel, whatever the fuck it's called, might say, bless him.
All right. So I got a short video for us if you want to check this out. This is another one that came recommended to me, but it looks like it's a short from well, let's see. If God isn't real, why do atheists even care? This is only about 5 minutes from a creator called Peach. Have you heard of Peach?
Peachy. Amazing. New one for me. I don't know.
If it ever loads.
I have a really quick question for my atheist friends real quick, and specifically my atheist friends who choose to negatively engage with my content, other Christian content, or just simply super adamant and passionate about telling other people that there is no God. And I make the distinction because I'm self-aware. I understand I'm not going to generalize all atheists. Some are super chill, but for those who actively are trying to disprove God and tell other people there is no God.
Stop. No.
Are they trying to disprove God? Do we even have to try to do that?
Right, like that's a weird perspective. I'm sure there are people running around doing that because, you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's somebody doing everything. But for the most part, the majority of us, I dare say, understand the burden of proof. And we're like, no, I don't need to disprove Zeus. I don't need to disprove Santa Claus. I don't need to disprove your fairy tale, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Nobody is trying to disprove gods. That's not even a thing, really. Gods, as a concept, are an unfalsifiable claim. It would be like me telling you to disprove that I had a sex dream about Marcelo Hernandez last night.
Oh, wait, so Peach is doing the review? Maybe I got that backwards. I thought she was the theist. She's reviewing the theist. Maybe that's why this came up.
Maybe.
Now I'm all types of confused. Oh, yeah. He's tagged ex-Christian atheism. Okay. Well, fair enough then. She's probably going to make all the same points that we are.
No doubt. But there is some use in, oh my goodness. So when I started my channel, I pretty much exclusively reviewed theist stuff unless someone asked me to take a look at an atheist thing. Like, for example, Presups and Phil Bros, you know, back when Dave Warnock was doing his show, he had Apostasy on, and they got a call from a Phil Bro. And, you know, Stacy and I were on good terms at the time. So Stacy was like, Ember, would you take a look at this and see if we handled the Phil Bro, like how we should have handled the Phil Bro? And because Dave doesn't do any of the philosophy bullshit. Like, there are valid reasons. There are good applications for philosophy, but Phil Bros don't do philosophy. They wave in its general direction with pretensions and delusions of grandeur. And so Dave just laughed at them. And I'm like, ultimately, you can philosophically break down every Phil Bro argument as much as you like, but at the end of the day, the correct answer is just to laugh at them. So Dave was right, yes. But for the most part, I didn't look at atheist content. But looking at other atheist content, sometimes you'll pick up new perspectives and information and tactics, shall we say, that might not have occurred to you before. So it's pretty neat.
Right. All right, yeah. Well, all right, let's hear this out then.
Last night. You can't. Because I didn't. What the atheist position of the Great Debate actually is challenging the claims and arguments for the existence of gods as not being reasonably plausible. In other words, the concept of gods is so fantastical that there's no good reason to believe that they're even real.
My question is this: why? Why are you so adamant to try to tell people there is no God?
Oh, I can give you reasons. For one, it is a thoroughly fascinating subject. You can spend hours engaged in the numerous arguments for and against the belief in nonsense and very easily fall down the many other rabbit holes of side topics. In my opinion,
I also think that, what is that? Like, I guess going down the rabbit hole intellectually of trying to account for like causal chains, right? Like at some level you're gonna have to be like spitballing, right? Because there's certain things we probably can't prove probably can never prove scientifically. But it's fun to do the thought exercises and say, well, what if it happened this way, right?
Yeah, we can gain a lot of insight from hypotheticals that will mirror something about the proposition under discussion. Like, why do people today, they want to believe in a monotheistic God, and they give reasons why a monotheistic God is better than a polytheistic set of gods. But when you really look into it, like, why did the ancients prefer polytheistic gods? And there's every possible aspect of these cultural phenomena, even though we don't believe in the fairy tale, the myth making process, the justification, it teaches us a ton about the way humans think that we wouldn't be able to evaluate objectively any other way.
Right. Robin says, BBM puts creationist crybaby in the thumbnail of all his Hoven videos. Kent is always holding the baby. And yeah, if you have a great video to watch, please share it with us. And welcome Tori. Tori says, as the resident redhead stepchild, many atheists I know just want a legitimate argument and proof of God, or any God other than because and because reasons. It's really that easy.
Right. Like I often tell people when those rare occasions when a discussion is honest enough, long enough that we actually get to it, that I have witnessed enough things in my life that would probably qualify as miracles, that I'm prepared to believe. I'm ready to believe. I want to believe, asterisk, but which thing do I believe? Like, from my point of view, all these different religions are making identically vaporous claims based on nothing. And so, compared to each other, I have no reason to favor one over any of the others.
Nerdy Rodent says, aliens. I agree. It's aliens, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
We're an alien ant farm, right? That was like a legitimate theory. Like they just put us in this environment. Yeah.
Oh, there's still a lot of sci-fi today that's based on the idea. Dungeon Crawler Carl, the most popular lit RPG story since Ready Player One, is based on the idea that humans exist because aliens plant societies, civilizations on different worlds and then come back in a few thousand years to harvest them, you know?
To see what's going on. Jeez. Either that or we're it's like an Epstein Island. We're just here for their sexual pleasure.
And there are very few subjects that have impacted, captivated, and confounded humanity more than the debate of God versus reality.
Because if you're right, if there is no God, then there's no moral right and wrong.
Oh, y'all always come back to this laziness. If you don't believe that there is an all-powerful overlord who sits on high and dishes out eternal punishment and reward, then there is no morality. Do you really think so little of your species as to believe that we can't figure out right from wrong without being told and without fear of our proverbial hand smacked for all eternity? Where do you get your morality? Because it's not from the Bible.
Yeah, that's a great question when they're like, our morality is far superior because we have like a lawgiver. That's really like their only argument there, I think.
I mean, from a certain point of view, that kind of makes sense. A very certain point of view. It's like if you have, for example, a whole bunch of people who don't know how to read and they want to know what's in a certain book, they might prevail upon a person to read the book to them. And that's great for them. Like, they're like, well, we need this book reader because without it, we won't have any knowledge of what's in the book. And I'm like, that's fine for you, but I just read it for myself. Like, I can just read the book. I don't need a book reader. Same thing with morality. For people who, for whatever reason, lack the necessary abilities to make moral decisions on their own, having a moral lawgiver can be more useful than not. But I would rather make moral decisions on my own.
Yeah, and I feel like most of the people who make that argument really wouldn't behave that way. They just say that because it's a rationalization for what they already believe, and they kind of know that they're losing ground, so they just have to say, well, of course I would behave like the most heinous monster if not for my God belief, right? And most of those people would not be able to actually back that up.
I don't think they like to address, like, first of all, there is what you're saying, that they think that without God they would just be a monster. I mean, if they're honest about that, they're really telling on themselves, and I think they know that. But a lot of them aren't being honest about that. Like they like to bluster about, I'd be murdering and assaulting people and et cetera, et cetera. But they wouldn't, because they're fucking cowards. If they weren't cowards, they would be making their own moral decisions. But never mind that. There's also the fact that there are people who aren't moral. Like me, for example, I completely reject the concept of morality. I use a prioritized value system that I've decided for myself. Like, human well-being is very high on that priority scale because I'm a human and my children are humans, and like that shit matters for personal reasons, not because some fairy tale dude on a cloud told me so, right? So I just assume morality entirely. But a consequence of that is that I'm not bound by normal moral strictures, like the idea that killing is always wrong. I don't have a moral issue with taking a life for self-defense, for other certain purposes. Like, as you may recall, I was in the military. I was in the U.S. Navy. I have had to take lives. I don't regret it, because the value calculus made it so that was the necessary course of action,
Yeah, if you're in a life
But
and
I
death
don't want
situation,
to take
the
lives.
preservation of your own life would be preferable. Yeah.
Other people in that case, it was,
Or
well,
yeah.
there's a whole lot of story to that, but it's neither here nor there. The moral of the story, I suppose, if you will, is that nobody's running around killing because no one is stopping them, except for a certain flavor of psychopath or sociopath, where they're just like, I'm going to do harm because no one will stop me. Like that professor that couldn't decide if he had one PhD or that was a double PhD or two separate, that guy who was doing harm just because no one could stop him. Aside from that, people won't do harm unless there's a reason to do harm. And to them, there's always that internal calculus of it being a greater good. So even people who don't have an arbitrary moral system imposed on them saying it's always wrong to kill aren't running around killing because of their own values that say they want to minimize harm,
Yeah, and I think those same people, they refuse to acknowledge, like, especially the MAGA crowd and stuff, like they act like psychological harm is not a thing unless they experience it themselves. But they can't like empathize that that's what they do to other people on a regular basis. They're always like, "Oh no, you're attacking my ideas." It's like, but yeah, don't you realize that's what you're doing to other people? Like,
it's yeah, humans are messy, and the lack of ability to empathize. I mean, I get it. Like in a diversity situation, there's 8 billion of us, so we're going to have people who are like way more advanced than the majority of the population when it comes to empathetic awareness. And conversely, there's going to be people who are way less advanced. Throwbacks, you might say, to another time before humans even developed civilization. And civilization, of course, depends on cooperation, which depends on empathy. So you've got the people trying to undermine civilization because the way their minds developed runs counter to the purposes of cooperation and empathy. Alas, but we can't help it because there's going to be a distribution in any population.
It's like, if you just respect my authority, we could cooperate better.
Yeah, just obey me. I mean, the invisible magical being that I'm speaking for, obey him, which just happens to be synonymous with obeying me, and then we'll all get along fine.
Yeah. It's like a utopia. I want to be mindful of your time. I know we didn't agree on a hard stop. We're going on an hour here. I don't know if you have things to do, but since Kat is not with us,
things to do, but I'm good with chilling and talking about whatever. I figured we'd give it at least an hour. in case Kat made a time zone bloop. So yeah, we're good for now. I'd say, you know, give it at least another 5 or 10 minutes in case Kat thinks that we're starting now.
Cool. Sounds good. And Nerdy, I believe this is the plot to one of my favorite movies, They Live, with Rowdy Roddy Piper, of course. If I'm not mistaken. Obey. We just need
There's
special
some
glasses.
interesting
That's all.
ideas. In I know Irish fairy stories better than the continental Europe fairy stories, but in Irish fairy stories, humans can see the fairies, but there's something about their essence or our memory or whatever the case may be that when humans do encounter a fairy, they start to forget immediately, and within a day or two the memory is completely gone, and the brain will like fabricate alternate memories. So like, and it's a really fascinating phenomenon because you'll have a situation where two people go out into the woods for a picnic, hypothetically meet a fairy, and because the memory erase thing happens, they can't remember meeting the fairy, and their brains come up with alternate memories, which means they will each have a different story of the alternate thing that they supposedly did in the woods. So one will think they just had an ordinary picnic, and the other will think they had sex, you know? And it's wild. And this is recorded all through Irish history. Some of it is mythological, but some of it is written as if it's firsthand personal accounts. And so there's this hypothesis within the supernatural side of things, you know, the what if fairies really are real, which we can blame Arthur Conan Doyle for getting started, but never mind, that's a whole side topic, where what if fairies really do exist and humans just cannot remember long enough to tell each other about them?
Fair enough. Yeah.
What if aliens really do exist and humans just cannot remember them?
They've got like a one of those like the Men in Black thing where they could just boop, wipe your memory right there.
Yeah. Like, we know our memories are fallible. We've discovered a number of chemical compounds that can keep your brain from encoding an experience into memory. So you can maintain a memory of a situation while you're interacting with the situation, but as soon as you disengage and the brainwave pattern shifts, it's lost. Like, you cannot remember what you were just doing.
It's interesting too because I was watching an episode of the Twilight Zone, like the old Twilight Zone, the original series, the other day, and there was an episode in which basically there were like 3 soldiers who had come back or no. Yeah, they were like soldiers, but they were involved in a rocket launch. And so they had come back from the rocket launch, and they were all in the hospital. And then basically one of them just disappears. And the second guy, he remembers the third crewmate who disappeared, and he's telling the main guy, he's like, no, he was here yesterday, now he's disappeared, he's not in the hospital, there's no mention of him in the paper and all of that. And the guy doesn't believe him. And then the second guy disappears, and only then does the remaining guy realize that it was true all along, but it was like he was clinging to the narrative that was current, which was basically like, this guy's crazy, he's misremembering things. Right, but then he realizes that actually the facts were changing, and then once he realizes that, he himself disappeared.
Oh no!
I thought it was kind of interesting. Yeah,
because like, whomst among us hasn't been in a nightmare situation, not just in like an actual nightmare, but in real life, where it seems like the facts are changing. And you're like, am I going crazy? Is my memory malfunctioning? Do I have a brain tumor? And what's going on? And like, I had to deal with something very much like that last year, shortly before the nonsense with Team Toxic started, where I had just to narrow it down and simplify what is a very long and complicated story into something I can relate quickly. my scale was telling me I'm overweight. The clothes in my closet were telling me that I was very much smaller than I used to be. Like, I can still fit into a size 2, you know, like even right now that I've put on more weight since last winter. And I had my one of my physicians telling me that aside from the fact that I'm vastly overweight, I have anorexia. And I'm like, reality is gaslighting me at this point. There's 3 distinct data points that are all in conflict, one of them in conflict with itself. What the fuck is happening? So I'm like, I'm going crazy. It's not just me misunderstanding something. Like, there's objective reality in conflict with each other. Ah.
I find I have that disconnect around like my kids, like especially right now because of so much time has passed, and so I still remember them as being little, but my oldest is like literally an adult, right? So, and I can't imagine it because we don't have the contact. So like I still think of my child as a child. I guess most people probably do even when their kids are adults, but like I feel like it's different for me because I just don't have that established relationship. Like I don't know the personality of that person anymore, you know?
It's fascinating because, like, so as you may be aware, my oldest child is also trans, and their birthday was yesterday. So they went out and did a nature, and they're so fucking happy because they have a beard now, and they've always known they'd look good with a beard, and it's wonderful. And like, so my child as an adult literally looks very different from how they looked as a child. It's like
Yeah.
they are 2 separate people, even though there's that mental continuity. It's trippy. It's like that with every child. Like, I look at my son as an adult and my son as an infant, and like there's similarities. There's an evolutionary process where one becomes the other, but they're not the same, you know?
Right.
Things like that. It's trippy as hell. Getting old is wild.
I know it. I feel like I'm becoming more childlike as I get older now, especially now that I am working with kids. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna slough all of that, weirdness off and just kind of go be, really kind of a state of figuring out the world again. Like, hey, I've, got to figure out these pretty simple interactions for the most part, but each one seems very significant in the eyes of a child,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's always more to learn, and there's always more to learn about what we know, how we think, but also how other people know things and how they think, which helps with other things. And it's just an infinite recursive loop of things we can learn. But also there's the facet of being out of practice. Like, we might know how to multiply fractions, but if we haven't done it in a decade, the brain may misfire a couple of times before we get it, you know?
For sure. To be fair, I was probably never very good at multiplying fractions. Math is not my strong suit, but
Oh goodness. So I'm seeing some Trinity talk in the side chat, and that was a thing that came up in that live on TikTok yesterday. There was a Catholic person who's talking about the fight between the Nicene Catholics and the heretical Arians, the Germanic people who believed that Jesus was divine, but a separate divinity from the Father, which makes sense in terms of the Bible. The times that he prays to the Father and not to himself, or he tells people to go make an offering to the priests because that's an offering for the Father, not for him, because they're separate individual people. And so I get why Arianism makes sense, but you can't call your religion monotheistic if you have at least 2 distinct gods. And so the Nicene workaround was, what if we just pretend they're all the same God? Somehow. It doesn't matter that it makes no sense and is in violation of all 3 laws of logic. We're just going to pretend they're the same God. And now there's only one God. Haha, problem solved. And of course, there were holy wars over this, naturally. And I'm like, The fact that people had to make up their own answers to these paradoxes and didn't have divine guidance shows that there isn't actually a God steering the ship in the first place, you know?
Yeah, the other thing I think is weird is when some people will say that it's like actually the essence of the spirit is really like, I guess, the God, right? The God, because the God himself is not a physical being, but Jesus was the physical being infused with the essence of the spirit, so the spirit and the God are kind of supposed to be the same thing, but they're divided in the Trinity, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. It's so weird. It's like, so Jesus and the Father, Adonai, they share the same essence and they're connected by the Spirit. But they're not connected by the Spirit because the Spirit is a separate entity itself, so that we can have a Trinity, I guess. It's incoherent all the way down, which I think is actually the point, because emotional narratives, when you start putting hard to believe nonsense that's intentionally nonsense into the mythology you're constructing, it forces people into a position where they either have to say that's nonsense and reject it, or they accept it knowing it's nonsense, and that makes them be they defend it from a place of more emotion because there's less logic available, and so it makes them emotionally engaged more. It creates something of a selection filter, sort of like scammers do, like those scam emails that are supposedly from the Prince of Nigeria but are full of typos and shit. That's on purpose.
Well, English wasn't his first language.
Well, most people are going to see those and say this is obviously a scam and discard it. But there are people who are going to make excuses for why there are typos, like saying, oh, well, they're from Nigeria. English isn't their first language, because they want to believe it really is from the Prince of Nigeria, because they want to believe they really will get $30 million. So it forces that kind of selection where the more gullible people are opting themselves in, and those are the people you want for the scam. Religion is a little bit more sophisticated because it doesn't want to just get your bank account number. It wants your life. It wants not just control of you, but use of you as a foot soldier to force others into the faith, right? So it's more sophisticated, but there's similar tactics where there's deliberate nonsense thrown out to make people accept the nonsense or not.
Yeah, and kind of what they always tell you is that it's kind of a prosperity method in any case, that you will somehow benefit. Just, if you're not indoctrinated into it, they say, look what Jesus has done for my life. Oh, he's going to do so much for you. Just keep on and keep with it, right? Like, it's like the AA model, like keep coming back and it'll work. But then you're like, well, what ultimately are you working for?
It'll be real. Oh my goodness. It's so funny though, because like, I don't know if you know Matt and Tommy from a channel called The Humanity Live.
Yeah,
really, really fun guys. But they both have like miracles, like actual miracles. Like Tommy was cured of stage whatever terminal cancer, about to die kind of thing. He was cured and then deconverted anyway. And Matt came back from the fucking dead. Like, logically, he understands he wasn't actually dead, but like when he isn't thinking about it, like when he's really drunk, he refers to the incident as the night I died. Like, that's how his subconscious understands it. So like, they both have full-on miracles and they're still atheists. Like, they deconverted. And then there's me running around with like fuck tons of miracles, and I don't see any evidence any God is real. Like, maybe there's a God behind it. I personally suspect if there is a supernatural something, it's not like anything humans have ever made up.
Yeah,
So
I've at some
say
points,
levy.
you know, thought I've said like that maybe it's a miracle that I'm still alive because I've been so abusive to my body over the years. But then you know, meet up with somebody who's done a whole lot more damage to their body and is still alive, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not all that miraculous, and humans are just resilient, you know. But when I start getting into my own head about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that seems pretty amazing that I survived whatever thing, you know.
Well, you can experience a legitimate sense of wonder over something that is mundane. I mean, the Christians keep trying to do it all the time. Muslims too, when they say look at the trees. Like the trees, when you really look, are fucking magnificent, right? Like they're taking non-living matter from the fucking sky and turning it into more wood and more solar panels, and they're drawing sustenance from the bowels of the earth. Like it's fucking magical, you know. But they're also the most mundane thing, aside from in places where we've clear cut all the trees. But never mind that. Beavers know. Nerdy gets it.
The beavers.
Beavers understand.
I won't tell my beaver story again because I was high on mushrooms, but it was
Oh my.
fascinating. Maybe I'll tell it later. We'll see.
It'll be a surprise. Speaking of surprises, like we started the stream, we didn't even know Kat wanted to have a chat. Neither of us knew what Kat wanted to have a chat about. We're just like, sure, let's do it. And now here we are, catless. Maybe we need to say pss, 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 pss. Here, kitty kitty.
No, I messaged her back when we first started and haven't heard back, so I imagine something came up. I would venture to guess, as I was saying yesterday, and like just from my observations, you two actually when just voice chatting, sometimes I've almost gotten you two confused because of similar humor and just like the way you two speak is
Interesting.
you actually very similar like vocal patterns, I would say. But yeah, because of that whole drama and whatever happened over at Knox and all of that shit, Kat's been I think a bit unfairly represented. And you know, she does do a lot of what she does for comedy. And so yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I think it was just like it seemed like an appropriate meeting. And but yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got to talk either way.
Sure. Maybe the entire point was to disambiguate the two of us for the audience in general. But like I did not know Knock during that whole period. Like I
Right,
only came to
yeah.
know Knock, like I was broadly familiar with his existence before his break, but I only like spoke to him after he came back right in the middle of the community drama, you know? So say lovey.
Right. I don't know if I'm whoa. There's a lot of beaver talk and other yeah, that's not family friendly.
I mean, who doesn't love beavers? I mean, for one thing, half of our ice cream flavors use a vanilla base and vanilla flavoring, the original vanilla extract, before we figured out how to get it from the beans and shit in commercial viable quantities, was from beavers, right? So, like, the fact that most of our ice cream flavors exist, we can thank beavers for. Don't ask what part of the beaver it comes from, though. You'll look at ice cream a little differently.
I heard Winona had a big brown beaver.
Oh, goodness.
So I did open Robin's video, but it's a longer one, and it will be in my history now.
I agree with Rebuke and Reproof in that Trump and Reagan are the two presidents who are definitely not in the running for greatest all-time POTUS. It's definitely someone else. Both of those two you can just cross right off the list.
Who is
I'd go
number
so far as
three?
to add Bush. And dare I say, I realize I'm going to piss off some of my left-leaning friends, Obama. Like, he
Oh.
talked a big game, and we did get some good shit, but I don't think he counts as best ever. Like, the drone strikes alone just kind of rules him out in my book.
Yeah. It's his immigration policies were not so great either. Still better than Trump's, but I mean, Trump piggybacked off of what he did. So
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I helped with the Obama campaign. I was doing a radio show at the time because I do, if nothing else, have a face for radio. But he was better than the alternatives at the time, I thought. But greatest of all time, definitely not. You know, that's all I'm
definitely
saying.
not.
He's not number one.
Of course, these guys also like probably hate FDR and Kennedy. You know, so there's that.
I might have said Roosevelt, except for one thing.
Yeah.
Roosevelt got all up in his feels and his ego about the election that ended up going to Woodrow Wilson because he did the Bull Moose Party thing and opposed Taft. And like, I get that he thought the United States, as we faced imminent World War I, would have been better in his hands than in Taft's. But like making sure Wilson was president because of his own ego, probably not the best plan. It just, yeah, he hurt the country because of his own ego in that regards.
Oops. All right, so this is Grandma versus Atheist. Let's see what's going on here.
Very much Christian.
That's amazing. I'm very happy you're here. What brings you today? What brings you in the live?
He's in the midst of our storms. He's in the valleys we walk through. The Lord called me here today to do that, and that's all I'll be doing today. I feel like I've made my mark, and yeah. I just wanted to spread the word and let y'all know that he is indeed in the midst. And I just was led here tonight by the Holy Spirit to let y'all know that. So,
well,
that's the beginning of the call. She does have a very soulful voice, I will say.
Is this the same person playing two different characters?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so. This is like a call-in program.
I know it's set up like a call-in show, and maybe she does regular call-in shows, but I don't know this creator, so for all I can tell, this is a spoof of call-in shows, you know?
It could be. Yeah.
And the person coming on, like a fucking, first of all, calling it Grandma versus the Atheist when the person appears to be the same age as this person, you know, somewhere in the early to mid 20s. That kind of tells me that we see a lot of people playing a character rather than an actual other person. Maybe it's a separate person playing a character, but coming on, you know, like a lunatic with the "I'm here because the Lord sent me," you know, that sort. Okay, cool. We're in Poe territory, you know?
Yeah, we had the same thoughts about PMARS the other day and his caller. It's like, yeah, the guy was, you know, calling him a pathetic racist piece of shit, and he was like, "Oh yeah, white is just my favorite color of crayon."
Oh my.
Beautiful. Can you do that again? Do you mind?
He's in the midst of our storms. He's in the valley we walk through.
got a little Macy Gray going on.
Where 2 or 3.
We can't even see the avatar of the color or anything like that. So
I know, like it throws me because she was on screen for a split second, so I know she could be on screen, and we're not seeing her. And I'm like, but why? Like, if we never saw her at all, then we'd be like, okay, it's a TikTok situation where you just can't see the other person, like a Planet Peterson sort of thing. But we did see her for a moment, so why aren't we seeing her? Unless I
maybe we should
hallucinated
change the
that.
format.
Name, he'll be there too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can also do the Lion King.
Oh, fantastic.
She's just cracking up now.
Like, there's no way. There is no way.
How long does this go on? There's still just... Let's see, we'll skip ahead a little bit here.
You've went on. You've even mocked the Holy Spirit.
A couple times, yeah.
A few times. And I don't need to tell you. I don't need to. Because you come from a line and lineage of Christian. This ain't my first time in here. That's for sure. And I've been listening, and and you'll find your way back, because, honey, I've been praying, and you want to know...
Who's got a bad case of the giggles? I don't know if maybe that might be the most entertaining part here. Born Again Atheist is great. I am now subscribed.
I've noticed since I've been praying, I've been coming in here every night, checking the sparkle in your eyes, and I know that God's been working on your heart. It's not funny. It's not. It's really not. But you know what won't be funny is that day. That day when you're up there and your life is, that day, that won't be funny. And you know what else?
The Day of Judgment? Is she referring to the Day of Judgment? Yeah.
Something like that. Like the day you meet Jesus, he's gonna have... He hasn't shown himself to you so far when it could make a difference in how you choose. But when you are no longer able to choose, I tell you what, he will be there. He will be all up in your business, and he will make your backside look like you wish your granddaddy had punished you a little harder. I tell you what.
Very good. Are you actually the caller on this show? Is that...
You could say I've met the type.
When y'all hear them trumpets, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I mean, it gets to a point. I mean, I tried to come on here and be friendly and sing with y'all, but you're laughing in the face of eternity, and, well, whatever. It is what it is.
It's very Buddhist.
No, I guess I appreciate your wisdom. This has been monumental.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, the Lord is monumental. He's working through me right now, so there is no other words to describe it. Monumental. Amen.
As in
Lord is a monument.
Yeah, like that's the thing that humans build to commemorate something we've decided we want to make a big deal about.
Yeah, which I guess he when I was thinking, I was like, isn't that idolatry? But then I was like, oh wait, you're supposed to do that with the God guy, just not with the other, just no other gods before, or whatever.
Well, also remember, no graven images.
Yeah. Unless it is the image of the Savior, that's acceptable. I was also like, hold on, because you don't get to meet Jesus right away, right? You have to meet this other guy. Was it the Saint Peter? Is he the one who guards the
Peter
pearly
holds the
gate?
keys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a misunderstanding of a mistranslation of a thing that wasn't even scripture, but never mind. Like, St. Peter holds the keys, and therefore he guards the gate, even though that isn't a reference to the thing. Well, I suppose it is, actually, because in the Christian mythology, Jesus is the gateway to the Father. So the only way to get to the Father is go through the gateway of Jesus. And Peter holds the keys to Jesus because, well, we can't really put that on family-friendly programming, but let's just suffice it to say, there's a reason Jesus hung out with 12 dudes.
Yeah, there's a lot of foot washing going on, I surmise.
A lot of foot washing.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. Amen. Thank you for letting me spread the gospel. And
Oh my God, anytime.
listen, I want y'all to start going to church. Don't be afraid to get in there on a Sunday or a Wednesday or maybe even a Thursday. I mean, get in there, sit in the back pews, and just listen. Listen to your preachers.
They
And
make
tell
such a
and
big
come back
fucking
here on this
deal.
live, and I might be in here, and I want y'all to tell me.
They make such a big deal over the 10 Commandments, and then they ignore, what is it, the third one, the fourth one? Like, you will remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. And the Christians are like, nope, we're doing the Sabbath on a different day. Not on the Sabbath. We're doing the holy thing on a different day. Awesome. Way to show how seriously you're taking the 10 Commandments.
I'm always like, which day was actually supposed to be the Sabbath? Was it Saturday? Are those guys right?
I dare say that we can't say for sure there wasn't a disruption in the continuity of the calendar over the many thousands of years. But since the Jews have been pretty much continuously preaching since they wrote those stories down, I think it's a fair assumption to say that it's always been a Saturday. They changed it to Sunday because that's when Jesus rose, and so that's the most holy day. So they have a justification for it. But you can't hold up the 10 Commandments and say worship on the Sabbath and then do your worship on a day that isn't the Sabbath, you know?
Right, yeah. It seems like, yeah. But, yeah, I guess it makes sense because Jesus is the Son, and then you do it on the day of the Son. I guess they just figured that would, like, simplify it for people.
It's no wonder. Oh yeah, so many people draw that conclusion. They're like, the sun rises and the sun rises. The words, they're homophones, and so therefore they mean the same thing poetically, kind of, but not really. But like, no wonder so many of these Christians are completely without Jesus. You know, they're doing things opposite to what Jesus said to do because Jesus, as a Jew, is worshiping the Father on Saturday. And when they show up on Sunday, he's not there. So they are literally without Jesus in their worship, even though they claim it's of Jesus.
I think they wanted to maximize this when industry during the Industrial Revolution, right? Like they used this at the time. They said like to optimize productivity, right? They would be like, oh yeah, well, a 6-day work week is preferable, and then we could just work these, MFers like all week, and we give them 1 day for religious observance, and that's the only day they actually get to rest, right? So they took that and the utility of it to be like, okay, that's how we can just keep these guys in the factories, for 10-12 hours a day, 6 days a week or something.
We're going to weaponize it for capitalism. I mean, religion has been weaponized for everything that the rich and powerful want to do through all of its history, so why not?
Fair enough. Hey, Spooky, good to see you. Just trying to experience the partial eclipse.
Travel is extremely hard for me right now, as you may have heard. But I was still tempted to go venture into the wilds of northern Canada where they get totality. Like, it'll be shorter there than it would be in like Spain and whatever, but they'll still get totality, and I wouldn't have to cross the Atlantic. But holy
Fair
shit,
enough.
it'd be a trip.
Somebody might post it on YouTube later, I suppose.
Probably. I mean, I sure did with the last 2 eclipses that I made it to, but it's such a cool experience to be able to make in person. It's absolutely worth a long trip if you can manage it. It's just, I have trouble managing it. Like, holy shit, getting back and forth to Nashville where there's interstate highways the whole way. That was rough. Say lovey. But yeah, there's like, even where I am, we're getting like 10% partialness, maybe 20%. Like, it's not enough to even really see. It's not even big enough to get really a cookie bite out of the sun with a solar viewer, but technically we're in partiality.
Right. I was confused by Robin's comment, and I realized that's the channel we were just watching. It's cute and gets a lot of really vile callers. Yeah, and Robin also sent this one, which came up recommended here. Christian Snaps, I Want to See You Dead. Maybe this one will be juicy for us. Yeah, in terms of
You're gonna end up.
we had jeez, that starts
Violence.
off hot. Yeah, in terms of the eclipse, I think we had one here like a year or two ago, I think. And it was most visible, I think, in Texas. I remember watching a YouTuber in Texas. They got like the full eclipse, which wasn't as prominent here.
Shit. Yeah, I think the one, you know, I've been on YouTube so fucking long that I live streamed both of the eclipses that crossed the US.
Yeah.
Like, my channel, Better Than Ember here on YouTube, has only been around for, we're getting close to the 4-year mark now. But before that, I used to do a gaming channel on a completely separate thing. And so I went to Tennessee to get the one that went from the West Coast to the East Coast as it crossed Tennessee. And this was back in the day before phones automatically had mobile hotspots. So I had to figure out how to work up a mobile hotspot. And I set up the webcam I'm using right now. In fact, this is how old that webcam is. I brought it with me. I set it up with my laptop. I connected a private Wi-Fi thing, and I just live streamed the fucking eclipse. It was, alas.
Yeah, this is
people
the one
just
I
aren't
was thinking
interested
of
in
was
science anymore.
April 2024 was the one I was thinking of. It passed through 15 states from Texas to Maine.
Yeah, I caught it right at the corner, up where Lake Champlain meets Canada, at the corner of New York and Vermont. I was just barely on the New York side. And I'm kind of glad that I ended up there, because the middle of New York was buried under clouds, and there was still some cloud cover, not enough to obscure the eclipse, but in a way that kind of helped, because when the shadow of the moon sweeps across the land, when totality begins, with a thin layer of clouds, you can actually see the moon's shadow move across the sky, and that's trippy as hell.
Yeah.
And then I was right next to Lake Champlain, so I had a long sight line off to the west, and so I could see the eclipse moving across the waves. It was cool.
Oh, it sounds so awesome. And welcome, Jess. How to Rule an Asteroid. Good to see you. All right, let's see this Christian snap off here.
Dad! You understand me? You stupid bitch!
Happy you're here.
For a second there, I thought that sounded like a emo, if you know the online Lol's Cow. Sometimes Drunken Peasants covers him. Do you know emo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
to
a whole genre, I suppose. It's a mood.
For sure.
Night.
I got up here because I just find you guys so lovely.
Okay, that's great. Why do you say that?
Because you're just beautiful.
That is her.
Okay, thank
but
you.
That's like her subscribe graphic.
Wait, so
okay.
Yeah, that's just her. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Christian? You know this is like a anti-God page, right?
And she's got like a. I think she's adding all. I don't know about these ones, but like it seems like when she clipped this, she ran it through a video editor and put the intro in there or whatever.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
still love you, sweetheart.
Okay. Do you want to talk about any of the prompts?
I love you. That's all I got to say.
Okay. And is that it? You don't want to say anything else?
I just got nothing but love for y'all. Y'all is beautiful people, and God created you. And you are beautiful too, sweetheart.
Okay.
And you got some beautiful teeth, and I love your little nose. And all your people is beautiful. I ain't got nothing bad to say about y'all because you guys are beautiful.
Okay. Well, I guess thank you for the positive energy. Yeah. What do you think about the last conversation?
I just got nothing bad to say, but the only thing I want to leave you with is all of y'all are beautiful, and I love you guys. Can I leave you with a verse? Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Okay. Thank you. Wait, so I have to give other people abortions?
No, I was saying, love them like you love yourself.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for that kind message. I do appreciate it. Thanks for
And I
coming.
want to say, I love all of you guys. Y'all are beautiful, and I just want to tell
I
you,
was almost going to, when she used that line, like in that context, I was going to like make a sexual innuendo or something. But I think given her focus on the host's appearance at this point, it would probably be pretty inappropriate, maybe misleading.
Yeah, it's borderline creepy already, and like, oh my goodness. But I this is an interesting tactic. I just wanted to say you're pretty, and also I wanted to do this, and also I wanted to do this, and it's the just one more thing, like a fucking child, you know?
Yeah.
I love you guys, and I hope you don't hate me, but all I got is love.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we don't shmate you, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for coming up.
I appreciate you letting me up here, and I feel so blessed. And I want to say one thing. Y'all are beautiful people, and I don't judge you because I love all of y'all and everyone that's in here. I love you, and I love your cat.
Thank you.
And by the
Maybe a little intoxicated. Maybe caller's been drinking a bit. I would.
That
I would
never
think.
happens on TikTok. Oh my goodness.
wait, I know you were a teacher, weren't you?
Yes.
Dude, the Lord just told me that about you. That's crazy. He told me you were
Translation: she has been stalking this chick. That's kind of weird. Maybe she's spoken about this before. I would be a little weirded out if somebody was like, "Oh, weren't you an in-home caregiver a while back?" Be like, "What have you been looking at my LinkedIn profile?" Like,
Didn't I see you at the bank the other day?
Robin said Amber knows cosmology and photography, so she did well. Oh wait, I missed something back here. Oh, from the eclipse. Okay.
Yeah. It was a neat time because like the signal was so crappy up there, but like L Trucker, like
Yeah.
I know his real name and that's what my brain wants to say, but like his YouTube handle is L Trucker. So that's what I shall call him for the purposes of the stream. But like he called in because I had a StreamYard or something like it open to do my stream with, so I could add the external sources. And he called in and he chatted with me while I was fucking around with the getting all the cameras set up because I had so many cameras. It was unbelievable. I took my drone because my drone can fly for about 20 minutes, give or take, depending on the wind conditions. And totality only lasted 6 minutes. So I sent my drone up a few minutes before to look straight down at the ground so I could see what happened to the ground from the air. And I just let it hover over the site. It was such a thing.
Nice. I should really be doing more. I have like 4 actual devices now with, well, I mean, 3 of them have good cameras on them, I guess. And I just need to figure out how to, link them so I get like, because right now I'm not even using cameras, but really I could be using them for a lot of things if I put my mind to it.
Yeah, it's true. And even honestly, even the bad cameras available today are amazing cameras compared to the cameras of even just 10 years ago.
Right. All right. So it's like a 20-minute video, so maybe we'll skip ahead to see if we can see where this woman rages out. Robin
Find the
said she's
spice.
like, she's at the bottom of her box of wine. She came in very lovey-dovey. We'll go way up here to like 8 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, like does that part at the beginning, is that even the same caller? Because they sound so different.
Yeah, no, it sounds like she's like full-blown screaming at the end.
Very close to running out. I heard the Lord speak to me and tell me, and I'm telling you, I'm very, very driven by the Holy Spirit. He said, you're very close to running out of time. He's going to take you to hell very soon, sweetheart. And your time, I just had a vision of you. I'm very pathetic.
She just had a vision. She loves you and you're beautiful, but you are going to hell soon.
You're an evil reprobate. Oh my goodness. I'm actually surprised I'm not getting more of this shit myself, because like my time actually is very limited. It's like, oh goodness. Like there's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into the whole thing right now, but I've said on my channel more than once that I'm on hospice care. I have been since February. I'm literally running out of time. And strangely, I don't have Theus dropping by trying to save me at the last minute, you know?
Yeah, they've given up. So
I guess.
Fucking wild. I always think like this is why young people actually aren't dating though, because they're getting probably paid pretty decently to sit on TikTok for several hours and field this type of bullshit, like that Parker guy and stuff. Like, he looks like a nice young man. He could be out in the world, but he spends, the vast majority of his time, actually on social media taking insane call-ins.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I always forget there's Parker and there's Dean. I get them confused. All these, barely adult white guys look the same to me.
Right.
But like, one of them is a problematic person and the other one is not. I think Dean is but they work together too sometimes. Like they pair, whatever. But it's a combination of things. It's ability to think and respond in certain ways very, very quickly. And part of that's practice, but part of it is natural ability. And there's also the ability to memorize huge swaths of political information so that they always have counterpoints for anything their opponents bring up. And then there's also the fact that they live near LA. And that's not a thing that they have naturally. It's either luck, circumstance, or they chose to move there, because both of them, while they made a bit of a name for themselves on TikTok, they really got popular after they started participating in the Jubilee things, right? So it's a bunch of factors, but they do have, both of them have some real, like, remarkable abilities, which is, it deserves recognition, but it's not just those things.
True. Yeah, I think from my observations, I think Dean seems to be the more problematic one. If we're referring to the same thing there, but I also noticed that Parker refers to Dean for certain information, and so that's where it becomes kind of like circular there. But yeah, they do tend to partner up. Supposedly Dean, I think, is an actual attorney I don't know if he's passed his bar, but that's actually what he's supposed to be in school for, I believe. But yeah, and also I think a lot of those are preloaded. Like they have certain stats that they're ready for that argument before it comes in. And I think they have probably a list of like bullet points they can go to in debates and say, oh, he's going to bring up, numbers on illegal immigration today. So I'm going to have the counterfactual ready to go for when that comes up,
Sure, there's a lot of stuff you can prepare for in like shortcuts. Like a lot of TikTokers will have like a list of prompts, right? Like for example, Jovan normally has like 5 or 6 different prompts, and then the callers can pick which prompt they want to debate. And when Jovan first started, he had a cheat sheet of all the sources for each of the prompts. So whichever way they went, he had a source he could pull from to refute any claim they might make. And he could pull it up quickly because it was preloaded. Now he's done it so many times, he's got all the shit memorized. But like that's where he was when he started.
And Robin's asking, I think, is it Ember Bell 11? No, Ember said it was just Ember Bell with 1 L. So that might be a different one.
Yeah, it's I'll just drop the link from my website because
Okay.
I often
wanna make
say
sure.
all my links are on my website, but that includes like fund helpy links, like whether it's Venmo or PayPal or whatever. It's on the right side. It says support Ember's efforts. There's the Patreon, which Robin is a member of, which is why Robin is in the credits for every video that I have credits for. But there's Cash App, it's the little dollar side, and then EMBERBEL. Venmo is venmo.com/u/emberbell. This is spelled the same way, EMBERBEL. There's a Ko-Fi. And then I have added back the link to Astral Pride. So there's that if you want a cool flag or a sticker kind of thing. So yeah.
Awesome. And just to clarify, because I think I dropped a slightly different link, but it seemed to redirect to your website. Is that also Better Than Religion? Is that an alternate link?
The website was originally Better Than Religion.
Okay.
And so there's certain parts of Google still use that name, but it is the same website, yes. I don't think just straight up typing in betterthanreligion.com works anymore. I don't know. I haven't tried it in a while.
It came up for me, so that was what I shared earlier. But I could clearly see it was your side. So
I just typed it in. If you type in betterthanreligion.com, it redirects you to betterthanember.com. So there's that.
Sweet.
Yeah, my channel was originally supposed to be called Better Than Religion, but that name was already taken. And I also couldn't just use Ember because apparently there's like a coffee mug brand that has that name. So I just kind of put them together and I ended up with Better Than Ember. And fun fact, now that Google Translate is automatically translating chats, any chat that has live translation turned on, when someone types Ember, it will change it to man. And I'm like, well, that's rude. But it turns out in Hungarian, Ember is the word for human, as in human being. So in a way, my channel ended up being Better Than Human, which is kind of fun.
That is really something, actually, yes. More human than human. Yeah.
Rob Zombie time, yes.
Sent by God to speak to you. He told me your time is running out. Get right, because your time is running out. What he does in return. He has been so gracious to you and your nasty life. But watch and see what he does when you die. If you don't repent, and if this life is not...
It sounds like she's letting this chick talk herself into a frenzy.
I mean, sometimes the best thing to do is just let them cook, and they'll take care of themselves.
What's up, BS? Good to see you. Yes, technically everyone's time is always running out. We were
It's
talking
true.
about
I
you earlier.
see that. I'm like, we're all on a clock, just some of them are longer than others. But we were just talking about you. Have you had any trouble? A lot of animators have been saying that YouTube has been giving them shit because they're animators, and we were wondering if you were experiencing any problem like that. Like in the last couple of weeks, it's been a big thing with a lot of animator channels. They're getting like letters from YouTube about how your shit isn't family appropriate, even though they're adult animators. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was kind of a side idea going on there that maybe you ought to create children's videos. I think Robin would like that. The SYT hates us.
I think YouTube
Yeah,
hates everyone, honestly. I was talking with a friend before the show, from a past life kind of thing, and we were talking about how TikTok is like forcing real humans off the platform to make more room for the AI slop, how YouTube seems to be going in a similar direction at a somewhat slower pace, because they're coming out with new rules again starting February of next year, February 1st of 2027. In order to become a member of the YouTube Partner Program, to have full monetization on your channel, you have to now have 1,000 subscribers and 8,000 hours of watch time. They're doubling the hours of watch time. And it's even worse for shorts creators. So, like, they're just pushing more humans out to make room for more slop content. Amazing.
Yeah, I've been amazed by the number of AI ads I see, and a lot of them are really bad. Like, it's gross. Even like medical misinformation and shit in AI form, and then it's in the ads on monetized videos. Like, hold on a second. So you're gonna censor the creator if they put medical misinformation out there, but you're gonna let them run a bunch of AI ads that contain them at the same time? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because the ads are paying to be there rather than being paid to be there, and so the rules are different. I've abused that a little bit myself at a couple of different points, mostly when it came to like song use. Like in the middle of last year, I wanted to make a big announcement to the community and do it in a visual form, and so I produced a video that made use of that K-pop Demon Hunter song, Golden, and I could not use it monetized. Like, even unmonetized, it was blocked in most of the world because like Sony owns all the rights or some shit. Like, they are very hardcore about it. But what I could do is put it in an unlisted video and then run the unlisted video separate from my own videos, like as like bumper material kind of thing. And so there's ways to use the glitches in the system against the system.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Get it. Get it where you can. Robin said she sent $20 to a stranger, unfortunately, but okay. Well, hopefully you got the right one now. And BS said the new 8,000 hours bump screws anyone who takes time on their work. Yeah. Like, it probably favors somebody like me who's got just a lot of junk content where I'm like hanging out watching videos.
Well, it's really fucked up because, like, I mean, even there's people like Philosophy Tube are not going to notice any difference at all, right? Because they're already a giant channel. But if someone like Philosophy Tube were to try to get started right now, they'd just be dead in the water because of, a channel like theirs. It takes a month to film each video, or ContraPoints, who takes a year to produce each video. Like,
that's wild.
No, they're just dead. Their channels are just never going to happen in the current environment.
And yet I think I still have Philosophy Tube content in my watch later list somewhere. So they've got something there, I suppose. But yeah, it's just.
Oh yeah, I love Abby Thorne. Like, I mean, I thought she was great before I even knew she was trans, and then people were like, "Oh my god, she did a coming out video," and I went and I watched it, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!"
Yeah.
So now I really like Abby. Some of her book recommendations are really good. Like when she does after show live streams, which is a good idea for any creator who pre-films videos, because then you get to interact with your fans, you get live feedback, and you get those super chats, because people are a lot freer with super chats than they are with super thanks after the fact on a regular video. So it's better for fundraising too. But because of those interactions, she makes book recommendations, and that's how I found Manhunter. It's been a couple of years since I read it, but it's a fantastic post-apocalyptic story about a couple of trans women living in a world where there's a virus that affects anyone with a high testosterone level, and it turns them into rage monsters. But because they're trans women, they weren't affected by that virus. And likewise, there's also a trans man who had to go off his testosterone in order to have lower surgery when the virus struck. So he's stuck not being able to go back on testosterone, or the virus will hit him, you know? and there's a bunch of like almost all the men are either dead or rage monsters, but there's a bunch of TERFs running around who, instead of hunting the rage monster men or trying to cure the virus, are trying to hunt down the trans women. They're taking the opportunity to just try to kill the trans women because they're TERFs and their brains are completely jello. And so it's an interesting story.
That sounds really, really fascinating, actually. Like, and what is that, like postmodernist type of work, kind of?
I mean, it does get a little bit of criticism because there's a certain there's a section in there that talks about what happened to the rest of the world. Like it's a little interlude sort of thing, and it talks about like the fall of Washington DC and the fall of Paris. And when it gets to the UK section, it talks about a certain author who holes herself up in her castle with a bunch of her other gender critical friends, and one of their husbands catches the testosterone virus and like blows up the generator, and it causes, you know, a gigantic explosion that destroys the castle. And so all the TERFs are like, oh my god, they killed J.K. Rowling in effigy. It's a travesty. Like,
that's beautiful.
You don't have a problem with the fact that TERFs are depicted as being bloodthirsty and so obsessed with trans women that even in the end of the world, they're trying to kill the trans women. Like, that's all they want to do. That isn't an issue. It's the fact that there's a fictional version of J.K. Rowling in there. That's the problem with the book. Yes.
Of course, of course. They will always find something. All right. Well, we're over the 2-hour mark here. So this is around my stopping point, I suppose. We did not hear back from Kat, but I hope she is well, and maybe we'll be able to reschedule. Do you have anything? Do you have anything upcoming you would like to plug before we go?
Sure. I suppose over at my place, Better Than Ember here on YouTube, the next thing I'm planning is on Friday. I'm doing my day 900 transition update Q&A something. So, you know, join me, bring questions, all that sort of fun stuff. Saturday, Mark Reed will be in my place. We're doing the debate reviews that we do every Saturday. We alternate. Sometimes it's my channel, sometimes it's Mark's channel. This week it's my channel. It'll be part 2 of Bart Ehrman versus Dinesh D'Souza. It's an older debate, but it only just recently got uploaded to YouTube because it's like, it was in the early days when people didn't just upload stuff to YouTube. So it's interesting because it's old, but it's also new. And so we're doing, it's about the problem of evil. Dinesh, of course, is like, well, that's not actually a problem for God because reasons. And Bart is like, no, that's an insurmountable problem for God. And so that's the idea behind the debate. So that'll be where we might be able to finish it in one more part. But anyway, debate review, join us for that. I may or may not do a birthday stream. I may or may not do other streams. The next thing that is vaguely on the menu for sure is David Fitzgerald's, and I can't remember his co-author's name because I'm very bad with names and I haven't actually met her yet, but they wrote another book. This one is called Clearly Written by Boys. It's talking about The women in the Bible are definitely written from a male perspective. It's fascinating. The soonest I could get them was August 31st, and I warned them that I can't promise my health will last that long, that far out, but tentatively that's scheduled. So that may happen. But I may pop up at any given time. You never know.
Always appreciate when you do. All right, and I've posted links for the last video and Ember's channel as well in the chat. Much love and big thanks to we had BS Lewis here. Robin Webster joined us earlier on. I saw Smoky Bears, Nerdy Rodent, Rebuke and Reprove, and did I miss anybody? Oh yeah, Tori Swansiger.
Tori popped through. How to Rule an Asteroid, of course. The delightful,
Yes.
beautiful, super talented Jess, who is far too busy, but when she has time, produces amazing work, especially when she dunks on creationists. Like, she doesn't even understand how good her shit is. She doesn't know. So make sure you go to her channel and tell her.
We'll do that. And Mikey Famine, much love. And everybody else, if we missed you, stay trusty and be kind and always do the things. And yeah. We'll see you next time, whenever that is.
Toodles.
Bye-bye.